So, bonuses. This deity was banished from Tahiti for fighting with her sister Namako Akahai, the goddess of the sea. For 10 points each, name this goddess of fire who resides in Kilauea and created several islands via volcanic eruptions.
Sort of Hawaiian goddess, isn't it? It's worth a try, I don't know. Hawaii.
That is Pele.
Okay.
Pele is a goddess from the mythology of these people, whose other deities include Io, the source of all who breathed life into Kane, the creator god. Temples from this mythology are called heiau.
We think Hawaii?
Is it Polynesian or Hawaii?
Pretty difficult to say, isn't it?
I think it's Hawaii. Hawaii.
Correct. Another creation story of the Hawaiian Islands involves this trickster deity who pulled them up from the ocean on his fishing line. In Maori mythology, this figure lengthens the day by restraining the sun with a jawbone.
What's his name? It starts with an E, I think.
I don't know.
Answer, please.
Like,
Go on.
Endels.
No, it's Maui.
Maui.
oh, right. Like, yeah.
Starter. Ethnic tensions flared in this country after the assassination of Minister of Justice Tom Mboya. This country's first president advocated local development initiatives with a policy called Harambe, or pulling together. A rebellion against its colonial leadership began after the seizure of the White Highlands region and was led by Dedan Kimathi. This country's competing ethnic groups include the Luo and Kalenjin people, as well as the Kikuyu, who led the Mau Mau.
Kenya.
Yes.
Good job.
Tends to go over.
The protagonist of this work meets his old preacher, Jim Casey, under a tree after he is released from McAllister prison. For 10 points each, name this John Steinbeck novel about the Joad family who travelled to California in search of work during the Dust Bowl.
The Grapes of Wrath.
This eldest girl in the Joad family is married to Connie before he abandons her. After her baby is stillborn, this woman nurses a starving man in an attempt to save his life.
Rosie Sharon.
In this other Steinbeck novel, Mac and the other inhabitants of the title location at first fail miserably at throwing a party for the kind biologist Doc, but they learn to plan more carefully and throw him a better one.
Cannery Row.
30 points on heartwarming stuff.
Heartwarming depression stories.
An expression for this quantity involving partial fugacity is called the thermodynamic form of this quantity. The change in enthalpy over the gas constant times the temperature squared is the logarithmic derivative of this quantity with respect to temperature according to the Van 't Hoff equation. The direction of a reaction can be determined by comparing this quantity to the reaction quotient. This quantity is equal to the concentrations of the products raised to their stoichiometric coefficients.
Is it the equilibrium constant?
It is. This man created the film scores for Lieutenant Kijé and Alexander Nevsky. For 10 points each, name a Soviet composer who also used an oboe to represent a duck and the strings to represent a boy in his piece Peter and the Wolf. Prokofiev's fourth piano concerto can be played in this manner. 20th century works dedicated to pianist Paul Wittgenstein are played in this manner.
Yeah, makes sense. 100?
Correct. A piece often transcribed for the left hand is this composer's revolutionary etude, which features runs of 16th notes on the left hand. This man also wrote many polonaises, nocturnes, and mazurkas. Answer, please.
Schumann?
No, it's Chopin. They got 20 from those. After 13 starters, the scores, please.
Make it 19, face 215.
Thank you, great.
This man is abandoned in a restaurant when Letter and Miss Forsyth distract his two companions. During World War II, this man gave a pair of nylon stockings to his mistress. The words of...
Willie Loman.
Correct. This man forced the Count Palatine and 10 other nobles to carry dogs for a German mile for quarrelling with Archbishop Arnold. For 10 points each, name this 12th century Holy Roman Emperor who launched numerous campaigns in northern Italy. He died when he drowned on the Third Crusade, and he is known for his red beard.
Frederick Barbarossa.
Frederick Barbarossa was opposed by this confederation of northern Italian cities. It was supported by Alexander III and won the Battle of Legnano.
Federation of the Rhine is later, right? That's the term.
Italy, obviously, something Italian.
Federation.
Answer, please.
Of Milan.
Federation of the Papal States.
That is the Lombard League.
Lombard League.
Frederick repeatedly besieged this northern Italian city on his campaigns. Its later ruling houses included the Sforza and the Visconti.
Milan.
That is Milan. Governor Stirling authorised mounted police to kill members of this group of people at the Battle of Pinjarra. These people traded some of their land for blankets and knives in Batman's Treaty. National Sorry Day was established for these people after the Bringing Them Home report was...
The Australian Aboriginals.
Correct. The protagonist of this work learns about the sickness afflicting a city from a barman before seeing posters warning people not to eat shellfish or drink canal water. For 10 points each, name this work in which Gustav von Aschenbach falls in love with the boy Tadzio and thus refuses to leave the title Italian city for his health.
Death Venice, yeah.
Death in Venice.
Death in Venice is a novella by this German author who also wrote about the decline of the title merchant family in Buddenbrooks and Hans Castorp's time in a sanitarium in the Magic Mountain.
Man.
In this other work by Mann, the hypnotist Cipolla, is shot by the other title character in the resort Torre di Venere at the conclusion of his performance.
Did you write Svengali? Something?
No, that's George Mourier.
Something titled...
We already had the Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
So let's have an answer, please.
The Magician at the Spa.
That's Mario and the Magician. Adherents of this religion believe in the law of three and the tenant of the reed, as well as in Akasha, the fifth element. The two primary traditions of this religion are Gardnerian and Alexandrian. This religion's meetings, known as Esbat, begin with the fivefold kiss and involve an Athame dagger. Its festivals include Beltane and Samhain.
Paganism, Druidism.
Sorry, sir?
Druidism, paganism.
Working prompt. Yeah, that's good. One of these objects is orbiting... Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure what this means. Yeah, one of these objects is orbiting Dysnomia, or is orbited by Dysnomia, and these objects must clear their own object's paths, be spherical in shape, and orbit the Sun. For 10 points each, name these astronomical objects, examples of which include Ceres and Eris.
Yeah. Dwarf planets?
Yes, this dwarf planet was demoted from being a planet in 2006 because it does not clear the orbit that it shares with its satellite Charon.
Pluto.
Saturn and Eris belong to this group of objects that are found between the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. Objects in this group have highly eccentric orbits which deviate from the ecliptic orbit.
What was your object? Trans-Neptunian.
Yeah.
Trans-Neptunian objects?
And those are scattered disk objects. In one of this author's novels, the title character is found growing pumpkins before he is taken to a hospital in which he refuses to speak. In another novel by this author, the narrator is hung from a tree by his wrists for returning a mutilated girl to her village. In that novel by this author of Life and Times of Michael Kay, Colonel Joel's brutality shocks the magistrate out of complacency. This author also described how poems by Wordsworth and Byron torment David Lurie during his affair with a student.
Jem Coetzee.